back. It's Melanie, your She Shed Scrapper. So today we are going to be doing a one-page layout using that cut file by Paige Evans. And what I did is when I cut everything out, I actually kept out, you can see the trees there, the water right here, and then some of the clouds. And so what I'm using is the Distress Oxides, and I'm using my Picket Fence brush just to kind of blend it, to give it some color. It's the same technique that I used for the trees, but I just wanted to kind of show you how I did it. So I used this color here is, I think it's Salty Ocean, and once I go through and do all of them with the Salty Ocean Distress Oxide, I actually go back through and use, I believe it was the Faded Jeans color as well, to kind of give it some more, dimension, different colors. And so I got the inspiration from a Paige Evans layout that she did, where she used the innards, I guess I'll call it, of the cut file and propped them up on foam, stickers, to give it some dimension. She actually took the actual cut file off, so it just left the innards. But what I did is I ended up, as you'll see, I keep the cut file on the paper and still use the innards, but prop them up on some foam. So to be quite honest, I wasn't sure if this was going to be a one-page layout or a two-page layout. How I scrapbook is chronological order, and my kids' scrapbooks go from birthday to birthday. And so this trip to Gatlinburg was August, and my son's birthday is November. And his album is quite full already as it is before any of the Gatlinburg pages are in there, because I'm just starting those. So for about a week and a half now, I've been contemplating whether or not the trip for each kid is just going to have its own kind of separate album. It's going to be thinner than regular albums. And so what I decided to do is you do a separate album for the vacation. So this is actually going to be the first page of the scrapbook. I just thought it was appropriate. The mountains are calling and I must go. And then the rest of it is going to be the vacation. So that is why I decided this is just going to be a one-page layout. And as you can see, once I got done doing the Distress Oxides there, back to the process video, I did end up backing some of the cut file with regular paper behind it. I chose that kind of wood grained background paper, and I just didn't, I didn't want the sky to be brown, so that's why I kind of chose that blue there. I colored in the mountains. It's similar to the background paper, but a little bit different. And then that green for like the grass. And then what you can see me doing here is I did keep the mountaintops, and the mountaintops are elevated on the foam stickers as well. And then I just prop up every other piece on foam to give it some dimension. I didn't tape everything down, glue everything down with the cut file. So what you see me doing here is kind of just gluing down kind of certain places, because what happened was the cut file, got caught on the pieces that were elevated, and you couldn't really tell that they were elevated. It was kind of at the same level. So I ended up having to glue down bits and pieces around the pieces that were elevated. So next with the trees, once like I said, glued down some of those, I actually had to it was like a puzzle. I had to figure out where the trees went. I didn't want to end up like with the last tree and have it not fit. So I placed the trees kind of where they're supposed to be, so I knew before I use the foam stickers there and put them in place. I guess I probably could have cut most of this out because it is repetitive, so I apologize. But I am really excited with how this turned out, and quite honestly, I'm probably going to do one pretty similar to this for my other son's scrapbook. I probably won't do a process video for that one, or maybe even show it, but I am excited. I found these 2 albums online that by the time I paid shipping, yes, it was a little bit more, but they are kind of like a cardboard finish, where I feel like I could like decoupage, you know, some mountain paper or something fun on the outside of it. So I'm excited to get those in. Those should be in this week, and that's kind of gonna be like another project, you know what I mean? I have some thinner paper that have mountains on them and cut aparts. I think it was a One Canoe 2 collection, but they were like the single sheets that you get at Joann's. You know how they're kind of thinner? So I might actually use those for the outside of their scrapbooks, their vacation scrapbook, and see how that looks. So I'm kind of excited to dive into that when those get here as well. So almost done with the trees here, and then I do the same thing with the waves at the bottom. Again, I just love how they turned out. With the waves, I kind of got a little bit smarter and tried to glue some of the pieces down ahead of time. Just because, like I said, I taped the top, but I really didn't glue anything else down. Partly I just didn't want the mess, and I thought maybe it would lay flat by itself, but it didn't. So same process with the waves at the bottom, and as you can see with that second color added, it just kind of gives it a little bit more dimension. They're not perfect by any means, but it was definitely fun to kind of color my own on paper. I definitely see myself doing that in the future. I actually made a birthday card last week kind of doing the same thing. I couldn't get the correct thing to cut on my Cricut, and so I ended up just having it white, and so I used my oxides to color it the color that I wanted. So that's kind of where I got the idea for this as well. You know, with Paige Evans did it, they were kind of like triangles. It was a star that she was doing, and so she just used the inner pieces that cut out on the Cricut and just kind of traced those and cut them freehand. So, you know, I could have done that, but this happened to be white already, and it allowed me to kind of use some mixed media on the layout, and I just really enjoyed doing that. So this layout was actually really simple once I get this all done. I found a picture just of the mountains. Nobody's in it, just a picture of the mountains, and so that's the picture that I decided to use with this. And like I said, I'll probably do another one for the other child with just a mountain, you know, picture in the foreground as well. So once I get that all placed, I just had to figure out kind of what to back the picture with. I think that picture was taken, my best guess is Ober-Gatlinburg on the tram, I think. So I decided to use the scrap piece here from the Simple Stories. Wow, I just drew a blank. Simple Stories Happy Trails collection. Sorry. And the orange was fun. It was kind of different. You know, there's no orange anywhere else, but it helps the picture kind of stand out. And so, unfortunately, I had to cover up part of the cut file. But you know, you still get the majority of the cut file that you can see, and you get the dimension. So what I actually did is the corner that was going to be on the trees, because those are propped up, I used my ATG gun with those. Otherwise, I used the foam dots again, because it almost had to be raised up off the page, being over top of the cut file. So now you see me, I wanted to incorporate that orange somewhere else because it really is nowhere else. So you just see me using my scraps, trying to figure out where to place it. And I finally decided to use it as like a strip across the top. It was kind of ripped, so I had to trim it off a little bit. But then I use it, you know, as a strip, and I wanted to continue it all the way across. So I found my other scrap piece there and just cut it similar size, and then just, you know, make sure that comes all the way across. I don't think it's perfectly straight, but it works. You can't tell with that, you know, the big cut file over top of it. But then that completes the layout. So I hope you enjoyed. This was really fun to do, something kind of different. And There will be close-ups at the end for you to kind of see the dimension and how it turned out. And then if you have yet to subscribe to my channel, I would love if you would do so. Like and comment on my videos as well. And thank you for watching. We will see you next time. Bye, guys.